Hi. Hi, good morning. I'm Sherry Scott with Springhouse Collaborative. We are building a community of people trying to simplify the custom home process so that you can create a home that you love. We, um, I, I had I had a story told to me this week that I want to share with you. It's it just makes my blood boil. It makes me crazy that these things happen to people that are really putting their heart and soul into this home and they want to create a home that they love. Of course, nobody goes into this process thinking, well, we'll just kind of try it, right? Like that's one of the things I love about residential architecture is heart, soul, money, everything people have, everything goes into homes. And everyone wants a good process, and everyone has different priorities, but the end we hope is the same. Um, so I'm going to tell you the story, and then I'm going to end with trying to pull it around and tell you maybe what they could have done to prevent it, um, and what I think they probably should do now, even if they won't do it. So the story goes, a current client of ours has a friend that is also going through the same process right now. They have already designed a house, and they are digging and doing foundation work right now. And my client said, my friend is a little concerned about the builder they're talking to. They're giving them the right price, but they they haven't heard much about him. They hasn't had much experience. And I knew the name of this builder, and I told her, have this person call me. I'll just talk through some things that maybe they need to look out for, or questions they could ask preemptively to maybe get a better foothold on the project. Well, the client never, or the friend never called. And they went ahead with this builder. They dug a hole, got the concrete, or got the form work up for the concrete foundation, and the husband of the couple went out to the site and said, "There's no rebar in here. There's no steel reinforcing in the concrete." And the builder said, "No, that's over engineered. You don't need that." So, number one, red flags, right? Everyone knows, like, this is a freaking red flag. Number one, it's not the builder's job to decide that um, something's over engineered. The builder's job is to build per the prints that got approved for a building permit. That's their job. If they wanted to fight that fight and they had a structural engineer on their side and they wanted to argue that for soil bearing capacity, or 10 other reasons that you can argue that point, they should have done that before they got their building permit. They had a building permit. It showed steel reinforcing in the walls. It um, it also had a specification of rebar in the builder's specification list. So the contract that they signed, number one, the contract included the drawings, which called out the rebar. Number two, the um, the contract that they signed included a specifications page, and that um, defined and listed out the rebar that was expected to be in the foundation walls. So obviously, this builder was trying to just not pay for rebar, not pay for the material, not pay for the labor to do it. It was going to be covered up. He thought nobody would see. Um, this is where these stories come from. And it just makes me crazy that good people in good faith hire someone, and luckily this guy is smart enough to keep an eye on it, to find it early, to find it before it was covered up, to bring it to their attention. And of course, the builders, after the argument, the builder is doing it. And now the problem is they're set up in an adversarial relationship from the get-go, from the very beginning. Now nobody trusts anybody. Um, it just it goes downhill so fast, and I'm mad about it. So, um, that's the story. That's the way it was reported to me, I will say. Um, we, I think that, so what could they have done preemptively for this? Not hired this guy, right? Ask questions. I think that there are enough red flags in the community about this builder that they wouldn't have had to dug very far to find some information about him and to hear stories about him. So my what I would tell people is ask for references, call those references, ask really good questions of those references. Don't, yes, people are going to be eager to tell you that their home is beautiful and they love it, and maybe the process was hard, but we made it through. And ask them about the hard times. Ask them about timelines and communication and just follow up, ask questions, take every phone call of anyone that offers. I offered to talk to them. I wasn't going to say don't hire this person because everyone has different reasons for hiring different people, and I get that and I respect that. But I would have told them what I know and what I have worked directly with this person and know of. So that's the first thing they could have done. I would say now that they're in this mess, they're early on. They just dug a foundation. It's going to be a struggle to the very end. And what I would recommend to them, honestly, I would recommend to them to fire him. They have grounds. They have grounds to get out of the contract. That was absolutely, it went against the building permit, which is a law. You're not allowed to go against the building permit, even if nobody's coming out to check it. Like there are some rural places that that don't have inspectors, and you have to go through the building permit process, but they don't have inspectors, so you do have to be on top of your game as a homeowner and client in those locations, because you don't have that second set of eyes, someone that doesn't have a financial stake in the process that would say, hey, you forgot the rebar. So that was up to the client. So can you fire a builder when you have just started or when you're halfway through? If you have too many red flags and the trust is gone and you can see that the financial commitment is not going to be what they said it was going to be. I will say that is a very tough way to go. I would recommend it in this case because they are early on in the process. But other than that, to fire a builder and to finish a contract, there are a couple of things. Number one, you're not going to get anywhere near that price. You probably signed with that builder because of their price, which they can't fulfill. There's absolutely no way that they can fulfill that price they gave them legitimately and honestly. So any other builder that is going to come in to an existing mess, right? They're coming into a client that doesn't trust, that has been screwed over, and that builder's going to charge a premium. They're going to charge a premium because it's hard. It's hard to get over that hurdle. And if as a client, as a homeowner, it's hard to find somebody that will take over a project like that. So I would fire them and I would find somebody new, and hopefully you have some cash reserves or some more availability for money, because it's going to cost you more to get out of that mess. And hopefully you can, they can find somebody to move forward. So I think that's the only option for them to do now, is either to fire them or to to move forward with this builder. And if their choice is to move forward with the builder, I think it would, it very likely needs to have an owner's rep in the middle. An architect would work. I don't know if there's an architect out there that would come in on a house that they didn't design. I'm not sure we would do that. But coming in as an owner's rep is a different job, and there are plenty of owner's reps out there. And so you're basically hiring a middleman to ensure that the house is going to be built per contract. And if, as a homeowner, if that, obviously this homeowner, I don't know them directly, but if this homeowner uh, is familiar enough with the construction process, he can do that. Like he did. He caught the rebar. He knew what was in the plans, and he knew what was on the specifications. So it's just going to be a really tough road, and I am going to tell you, it does not have to be that way. It really doesn't. You are always going to have surprises. You are always going to have things come up, timelines messed up, deliveries not on time, things, lumber prices coming, rising when you don't expect them to. We're expecting them to come back down. They're not. There are always things that come up, but those are legitimate things that the builder cannot control. The problem comes when the builder over promises and then can't deliver, and then they're not honest enough and they're not forthright enough to come to you and say, lumber prices went up, it's going to cost this much more. You have to expect something like that. You have to expect it, but you don't have to. You should not ever have to think, well, is he going to lie to me? Is he going to try to do something that that isn't on the prints, that is going to make my home not stable and sturdy and a good foundation, right? Okay, so I just wanted to bring that story to you because it's current for me. It was weighing on me. I told my client, have them call me. I'd be happy to at least talk them through their options now and try to connect them with someone that can get them through. They could hire a an inspector to come out every month and to check things, or come at critical times, hire someone to come out for a couple $100, and to review things. That would be another way forward, especially if the builder would agree to that, which at this point, being caught red-handed, I would think they'd agree to pretty much anything. So those are a couple of ways forward out of, if you run into a mess like that. I have other stories like this that I'll share over time. I just wanted to bring this one to your attention today, and hopefully that will help somebody maybe start off on the right foot instead of trying to catch up and make a bad situation work. Okay, so again, I'm Sherry Scott with Springhouse Collaborative. I am excited about this community. I am interested to answer your questions. If you have anything going on, pop in the group and ask questions. There are other people in this community that have been through this process, and they are happy to answer questions and give their stories. I would love to hear from you. So if you have anything, pop in the group and ask questions. Otherwise, we will talk next week. Thank you.